Okay, guys, good afternoon, or good day, good morning, good night, wherever you are, no matter where you are. I hope you're doing fine. And what I'm going to do today is just we're going to generate a new Visual Studio Community 2015, and we are going to use new project, console application, give it a name, no matter the name really. So this is going to be our solution number one, for example. Okay, we're going to use it. Maybe we've given that name before. No matter. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you here is that we are going to be using a reference that we are going to include this time. These are objects that were generated in a previous video, so I hope you can see that video and check my YouTube channel so you can see my previous videos on how to create these objects which are included in this library. Okay, so in this time you're gonna see the browser. If you go to the properties, the Solution Explorer, sorry. If you go to the Solution Explorer, the references and the reference, then you say, for example, you could see the objects, view an object browser. And what about this? You're gonna get this object browser where you can see how the objects are described here with these properties. For example, this little browser is showing me that objects. This is the real library, and now these are the different classes that are defined in that library. Okay. So, this class, for example, this class empleado, base type is in basic types and its base persona. So you can see that there are other objects that are related in inheritance, relation, and you can also see there the properties and also the method that you use in that library. So it seems to be very interesting because you can see with this cube, the 3D cube or something, you can see there. These are the procedures that are defined in this class. So these are the procedures or the methods that they were defined when the class was defined, and you can also set or get, no matter what you do with these properties, like a little range or something. This is a different icon that you can see here. This is the commission, discounts, work hours, price per hour, salary, base salary, brute salary, net salary. Okay. So these are the properties. You can see here the properties, and you can see the method that this class is using, and you can also see that the person is a base class that was derived to empleado. So you can see here that empleado column this with person. So a very special base is the base class, and the derived class is empleado. So you can see that this structure, this object process is very intuitive, and you can see many things in here. There are also many other classes. For example, a student, which is also person, came from the base class person, and so on and so on. And the base person, the base class, which is person, also, as you can expect to find that any class comes from the other class. Okay, so this is very important to know that you can find many things, and you can find that any class you create, any one of those classes will always be derived from the base class object. So this is the base class. This is fundamental to know it. So knowing that, And knowing that you can find here all the object with the object browser, which is pretty cool, pretty important, so you can find many things. And you can also do the same thing with this object browser. For example, you're gonna see how many libraries do you have in your own project or something. This could be initially the same libraries that you can find in a project when you start a new project to Visual Studio. So you could also look around, browse even deeper and deeper to find the properties and this world of objects that are surrounding this environment, which is absolutely rich to see many things, properties, and methods you can find here with each class that is presenting each one of these branches of those trees. So this is vast, this is huge. For example, system, you can also find many different ways. System.io, for example, you can see the System.io. System.io is a library which is also defined for handling files and things like that. Oh my God, it's a lot to see, a lot to learn, a life to learn. Okay, but not going farther away, the object of this video is that I'm going to show you how to use those objects. How can I use those objects that I defined in that library? So I'm going to show you, for example, I'm going to add a new, I'm going to add something here. For example, a new item. This is going to be a console application. A console application. So in the phone, custom control. Sorry to say it. So I'm going to see a new project, which is a console application. That's okay. I didn't know why. Okay, that's okay in my console. For example, it's going to be my console number one or whatever. Okay, console one, for example, console one. Okay. So this is going to be, as you already know, you're already using that reference. You added that reference to the project. Now you're going to use it here. Objects. Using objects. Okay. So in this console, I'm going to add the reference. Let's see the reference here. This is not here. This was in the other one. So I'm gonna see the reference, and you're gonna add the reference to subject. Okay, to subject. That's pretty cool. So some other thing which is might be very important for you is just to include this also good reference. And now you can see. Now, see, Visual Studio will recognize those types of objects that you already defined somewhere else. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create a list mm, of some quantity, and then you are going to going through that list and generate something, and can go back to the beginning, and then you go through the whole list so you can see that those numbers are really generated from head to toes, from all over, all through, and there it is. So I'm going to use this one, and okay, so I'm going to generate a list. Okay, a list. This is going to be a list of those employees. Okay, this list of employees, I'm going to call it like a factory or something, and then I use in a list. I don't know how many, and that's it. That's it. So also I'm going to generate a number and generate a new number that is going to be just like this. Create a number. Now we are going to clear the screen with this console clear, and we're gonna use something like object generation, for example. Object generation. This object generation, you're gonna see something like I don't know, some dashes to see the difference, to see how this is going to be, and then there we are going to generate an input to ask for the user to give us some input. Okay, this is going to be the first part. It's going to be the first part. So let's see what we're doing here. Oops. So console. There's going to be a setup break after startup break. There's going to be a startup break, and then we're going to see start object generation, asking for input, and there it is. Okay, very good. So I'm going to define a variable. This is arbitrary, of course. I don't know. You could read it from the line, from the keyboard. You could generate a number or something. Okay. What I'm going to do, just to demonstrate the use of this list, is that I'm going through all the lists. So we'll be doing something like this. This is going to be like a factory. Okay, our factory. This is going to be our variable. This is arbitrary. Okay. What we're going to do here is that we're going to generate an employee. For example, employee one, which is new employee. Okay. What I'm doing here is just to generate an employee, and each time I generate that employee, I'm going to put it and add it to the list. So that's it. But before that, before adding it, I'm going to store something. These are the fields that are generated because of the inheritance relation that we saw before. So we're going to see, for example, we're going to see the cell phone. This okay. This is number. We're going to use a method and maybe 500. What we're going to do here is to generate, as this is string. Okay, what I'm doing here is just to look for the field of each and every employee that I'm generating. Okay, I'm also generating an arbitrary random number and turn it into string and then put it back into that field of the employee. Okay, and then the most important thing is that we're going to add it to the list, but this one. Okay, I hope you understand this. This is not really important. No, it's very important, but it's not very difficult. I mean, so what I'm doing here is just to generate the list. Let's make a little summary here. We are generating the list. We are declaring random variable. We're also clearing. We're also seeing, and waiting for the info for the user to give us some input, some background, some feedback. I'm sorry. and then we are going to go to to cycle through the list with 20. In this case, we're going to do 20 from 0 to 19, because 19 will be less than 20. And each time we go through, we are incrementing this index. It's the use the normal is the 4 in C sharp, which is pretty straightforward for you. So if not, to check out my videos and I'll help you understand that. Okay, so we're going to generate employee number one, and we are going to do something is to store this random number, turn it into strings, into this cell phone, and then we add it to the list, okay? So we're going to see something. So what about if we put something here and then we say objects generated, object generated, object generated. That's it. And then what do we do now? What we're going to do is just the same, just to see. Okay, we're going to copy this code. So what we're going to see here is that we are going to cycle through these to these objects. So we can see here. For example, so we're going to say that this is number, sequence number, and then T. I'm gonna type a tab or something, and then is number one, the first one. I mean, so I'm gonna repeat something. We're gonna say that the number, this is white. Okay, so we're trying to build a line, sequence number, then we do something like cell number generated, for example. We're gonna see just something like this, and not this one, but the cell number. We're gonna see the index, and the index here is this one plus cell. Sorry to say it. We're gonna see the cell, okay? There it is. And for the last, we're gonna generate. And it's a question. It's a little challenge for you to discover what I did here and why this was generated. So you could find out here at what I'm going to do to write here, to print a line, to write this line. But you could discover on your own, why am I doing this? What am I getting this? Okay, this is the number, this is the cell number generated, and this is the name. Name of responsible person, for example, responsible person in this part. So there it is. And then, because this is done, so we're gonna do this, okay? Objects generated, and then we're gonna show. the numbers that were generated. Okay, so let's see. So maybe there are some mistakes in here. This one plus this one plus this one. Okay, it's very good. So this one, object generation. Objects are generated. Now this one, look at this. So what we're getting here, as you can see here, for example, we're going to, I'm responsible not doing the, maybe we're gonna leave the, maybe in the same line so we can read better. That's it. What about this? Very good. We're generated. Okay, that's better. This is the sequence number from 0 to 19. So you got the 20. See, this is a number generated, and there you are. And what about if you show the numbers that were generated and then you compare them when you cycle through the list? Maybe that's okay. That's okay. So maybe in this part, so you could see something like just to see it, okay? Just to see it. In this part, you could say that you are going to generating number one plus there it is. Is a string? That's okay. Okay. So we can see here that these numbers are generated. Objects generated. Okay. 2, 4, 6, so on and so on. Of the 20. And there you are. What about the last one? Look at this. Look at these five numbers. For example, the six numbers 98, 351, 27, 489, 476, 158. That's okay. Perfect. Okay, that's it. So I hope you understand me, everything I was trying to tell you. So this was just to say that this is a pretty straightforward code in C sharp, which is amazing. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you understand, you've learned something, and that's pretty cool. So thank you very much, and bye bye. See you next time.